Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville, fiber internet, streaming TV, home security, and automation in southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Maller Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis, lawmg.com. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching in Indiana and around the world. education.indiana.edu. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.
Coming up on Indiana Newsdesk. Across the country, an unprecedented number of teachers are running for office. In Indiana, a handful are hoping to make it to the Statehouse.
It shows that we will step up and we will again advocate for our students, for the schools, and for the communities around this state.
Coming up, we go out on the campaign trail to learn about the reforms they are championing. Plus, we spend time with the Hoosier farmer harvesting crops in an era of agricultural tariffs. And the growing popularity of barrel-aged beers is creating new business opportunities for brewers and distillers.
Maple syrup, rum from the Caribbean, Scotch barrels, tequila barrels from Mexico.
Those stories, plus the latest news headlines from across the state, right now on Indiana Newsdesk. Welcome to Indiana Newsdesk. I'm Joe Wren. Hundreds of teachers are running for office across the country. Their campaigns focus primarily on school funding and teacher pay, the same issues that led teachers in Arizona, Kentucky, and Oklahoma to walk out in protest earlier this year. Now, in Indiana, the pool of teacher candidates is smaller, but as Indiana Public Broadcasting's Jeannie Lindsay reports, they echo similar frustrations in public education.
John Hurley's classroom looks more like a workshop than anything. Old industrial machines sit quiet, waiting, while other parts of the room come alive as students begin working on different projects. As students cut metal or assemble small engine parts, Hurley checks on each of them. Hurley's taught career and technical education here in Spencer County for nearly a decade. He loves his job, but he says lately new policies from lawmakers have taken power away from people in schools, the ones directly affected by the changes.
Most of that control has gone essentially to Indianapolis.
Hurley wants to give public schools and educators more say in important decisions. So this year, he's running for a seat in Indiana's General Assembly.
I wouldn't be doing this, one, if I didn't think it needed to be done. And I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think it was possible to win the position.
He's not the only educator with eyes on the Statehouse. A handful of others in Indiana are running, with many more in other states. School funding is a big motivator, nationwide and for Hoosiers. A report earlier this year shows Indiana's public education funding never returned to pre-recession levels after adjusting for inflation. Indiana State Teachers Association President Teresa Meredith says the political surge of educators is part of a national public education movement called Red for Ed.
I think the wave that you've seen across the country is just beginning to bubble up here.
Seemingly constant shifts in policy have educators on edge too. Meredith says not every lawmaker needs to be an expert in education, but they have a responsibility to talk to people who are.
I'm not talking about, university leaders out on the East Coast or the West Coast. I'm talking about people right here in Indiana right now who are on the ground doing this work every single day.
State Representative Tony Cook has seen both sides. His teaching and school administration experience spans 40 years. He's retired now and serves as the vice chair on the House Education Committee. He says the reality of lawmaking means even the best bills hardly ever leave the Statehouse the way they started.
You're going to walk in here and just change everything yourself. You can't do it. You've got to build coalitions. You got to find the people that believe the way you do, and then you work in compromising situations.
A law Cook authored earlier this year changed how schools can manage their funds. He says he hears teachers' frustrations and agrees they should earn more money, but they aren't the only ones asking.
Teachers need to understand that okay, you got everybody else waiting in line. You got all these other people coming at you, firemen, police, and that never stops.
Lawmakers reconvene in January. The next session includes crafting the state budget, meaning teacher pay and education funding will certainly take the stage. Educators and their unions will be watching closely as the next session plays out, and whether teacher candidate Hurley is doing that from his classroom or from a seat in the Statehouse, he says his campaign and those of other teachers have already sent a message.
It shows that we will step up and we will again advocate for our students, for the schools, and for the communities around this state.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Jeannie Lindsay.
The Indiana Public Defender Commission is calling for major reforms to Indiana's system. The proposed changes come after multiple reports point to problems with public defense in the state, including unequal access to representation, overworked attorneys, and a lack of oversight. Mark Rutherford is the chairman of the commission and joins us now. Mark, thanks you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me here.
So let's just start with there are 4 major recommendations put forth by the Public Defender Commission. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yes, they came from the task force, which had many more recommendations, but we decided at our meeting last Wednesday to focus on a statewide appellate program to see if the legislature would like to start getting that developed, to look at increasing our budget because more and more counties want to be a part of this voluntary program. We also are looking into reimbursements for misdemeanors. Now we're only authorized to do felonies and certain other types of cases like child and needed services cases. So we'd like to do misdemeanor reimbursement as well. And the last part about it is creating regional systems between the counties, memorandum of understandings that allow the counties to work together and have economies of scale. This is for the smaller and mid-sized counties.
So you talk about the reimbursements. How would that work and what would that help achieve?
Right. What that does is right now we reimburse felonies for those counties that participate in this voluntary program. We give them money to be able to meet our standards and to increase the quality and the ability of the public defenders to work. And what that means is that misdemeanors are the first level that many people approach the program, but yet their attorneys are overworked. Their public defenders, if they can't afford one, are overworked. This would allow the caseloads not to be as high and for their public defenders to spend the time necessary to do what's right for their client and what's right for law enforcement when it comes to what's good for criminal justice.
Now, you mentioned reforms to county public defender boards. What's that meant to do and what would that help achieve there too?
Well, the one that we're really concentrating on is having the legislature clearly authorize that the counties can have memorandums of understandings to basically create regional public defender systems. And that's to give them the economies of scale.
Why does the commission think that these reforms are so necessary?
The reason they're so necessary is we had a group called the Sixth Amendment Center study our program, and they found a lot of deficiencies, which have been mentioned previously about overworked attorneys, not enough resources, and the whole idea of this is to be able to create a system that we meet our constitutional requirements that people who can't afford an attorney get an attorney.
Last question, we're down about 30 seconds here, but these reforms are costly. Why should lawmakers make this a priority?
Well, one of the reasons it's a priority is the Constitution requires it. They should. It's the first thing. The other thing is when you have better attorneys, you have better outcomes, people get what they need to have as the way of sentencing, and ultimately, fewer people in jail, cost savings for the taxpayer.
Mark, thank you very much for being here today. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now for headlines, we go over to Barbara Brosier, who has the latest on this week's top stories.
Thanks, Joe. Embattled Indiana Attorney General Curtis Hill says he's pleased with the investigation into allegations that he groped 4 women earlier this year. A special prosecutor is assisting the Indiana Inspector General with that investigation. Hill made his comments in an interview with C-SPAN just minutes before Christine Ford began testifying to the Senate Judiciary Committee about allegations that Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her.
And in this environment, as you know, what we're seeing in Washington, we're fighting with the upside down world of guilty until proven innocent. And the result of that for us here in Indiana is that we're fighting that. And I think it's important that we fight that.
Hill has questioned his accusers' credibility, threatened defamation lawsuits, and started a fund to raise money for his legal defense. Governor Eric Holcomb, all 4 legislative leaders, and many other state officials have called for Hill to resign. It's unclear how long the investigation into the allegations could take. A state agency has convinced the city of East Chicago to fully replace lead pipes in some homes near the USS Lead Superfund site. It had only been doing partial replacements, a practice the Environmental Protection Agency says doesn't reduce lead contamination and can sometimes make it worse. The Indiana Finance Authority says the state grant used to swap out lead pipes in East Chicago is partly funded through EPA dollars, and the EPA doesn't recommend partial lead line replacements. The trial for former Vigo County School Chief Daniel Tannous is set for December 6th. He faces 3 felony charges of bribery. Tannous is accused of accepting kickbacks from an employee at Energy Systems Group, a contractor that worked with the school corporation. A judge entered a not guilty plea this week for Tannous. Tannous retired this summer after serving as superintendent for 20 years. He was still working as director of safety until the school corporation suspended him earlier this week. A judge has ordered Governor Eric Holcomb's office to turn over emails between then Governor Mike Pence, President-elect Donald Trump, and the Carrier Corporation. The emails detailed Trump's negotiations to prevent Carrier from moving most of its operations from Indianapolis to Mexico. The order Monday gives Holcomb's office 30 days to disclose any communications about the issue sent from November 14th through the 29th of 2016. Activist groups sought the documents after a deal with Carrier to keep its Indy plant open for 10 years. Holcomb's office says the governor values transparency and will follow the law. A state committee is nearly finished with creating a list of factors to monitor schools' fiscal health. The group stems from a controversial financial management bill lawmakers passed this year after the state took over 2 school districts for major money issues in 2017. The committee heard from school leaders and professionals at a meeting this week. Many say there should only be 3 to 5 fiscal indicators, rather than the current proposed draft's 20 items.
From here, I think our committee goal has always been to get to a lower number. Around 10 is the number that I think I had in my head, but we heard a number of comments today saying perhaps even fewer than that would be appropriate.
Others at the meeting stressed the importance of things like how property tax caps impact school funding and the tax base in school districts. The committee will submit a final proposal for review next month. A Greencastle Intermediate School will reopen its doors after closing for nearly a month due to air quality concerns. In a statement, the district superintendent says Tezanikis Intermediate School will reopen Monday. The corporation closed the school because of high levels of mold inside the building. Students have been temporarily relocated to other schools within the district. And Hoosier basketball fans could soon get a chance to own lockers used by their favorite players. The Indiana University Surplus Store will auction off 13 men's basketball lockers used from 2002 to 2018 in Assembly Hall. The lockers will remain on display at the store until the auction.
We want the general public to come in here and, bring your son or your daughter and sit in here and get the goosebumps. I mean, my hair's right now. It's standing up on my arm just talking about it.
The store will put 1 locker up for auction every Tuesday starting November 6th. Bids start at $1,000. And Joe, they did something similar with turnstiles before.
Right.
Those were very popular. Start saving pennies now if you want one of those.
That's right. And everyone is getting excited because Hoosier Hysteria is this weekend.
Absolutely, right around the corner.
And basketball, some polls, top 25. The women's team's going to raise their WNIT banner.
An exciting year for Hoosier basketball.
Yes, it is. Thanks, Barbara. Coming up next on Indiana Newsdesk. One Indiana farmer takes us out into his fields to talk about life on a farm in 2018. And some Indiana breweries are taking a new approach to getting interesting flavors into their beer. These stories and more right here on Indiana Newsdesk.
The WTIU WFIU news team connects Indiana to the world. We bring you the top news of the day on radio, TV, and online. We round up the stories that have people talking each week and dig deep into the issues that affect your community the most. The WTIU WFIU news team is where you are and telling your story.
In a time of change, where can you find in-depth reporting and thoughtful analysis? Washington Week on PBS. Join moderator Robert Costa.
When I was at the Capitol this week, I encountered the same.
And a panel of award-winning journalists.
You're seeing a divided nation, and you're seeing.
For insights and perspective.
Tonight there was a key development in the Senate.
You won't find anywhere else.
What a week.
Washington Week.
Welcome back to Indiana Newsdesk. Well, if you've been down the beer aisle lately, you probably noticed the growing number of barrel-aged beers. The popularity of drinks means that there's more demand for used barrels. As Barbara Brosier reports, that's creating new businesses, opportunities for distillers, and turning an underground industry mainstream.
As you step into Upland Brewing's wood shop in Bloomington, it quickly becomes clear where the building got its name.
A lot of our growth the last couple of years has come from our sour program and barrel-aged beers, so this has been something that we've invested a lot of resources into, something we love to do.
Upland opened this facility 2 years ago to help support its growing sour ales program, and all of these stacks of wooden barrels are essential to its success. The brewery formed a partnership with Oliver Winery more than a decade ago, trading a few cases of beer for a few wine barrels, and Upland started using them as fermentation vessels for sour beers.
We actually are using them for the wood itself in fermentation, so the microorganisms live inside the wood, and we need the barrels to really be kind of neutral. We don't want a ton of flavor, we just need a vessel for this really amazing fermentation.
Upland uses barrels in a different way for its non-sour or clean beers. Brewers use bourbon and other spirits to add unique flavors to certain brews.
We will just fill those barrels with fermented beer and let it sit, typically 6 months to a year. And after about 6 months, we'll start tasting them, seeing where they are and making the decision on whether these beers are done yet or whether they need more time to mellow out and let all the flavors of the barrel kind of blend.
In addition to Oliver, Upland has a good relationship with a few Kentucky distillers, so oftentimes getting a barrel is as easy as making a phone call. But that's not the case for many smaller, newer breweries.
It's like becoming a detective to try and find it.
Noah Steingraber is in charge of national and international craft sales for Kentucky Bourbon Barrel in Louisville. He fields a lot of calls from brewers around the world looking for specific barrels. It's his job to track them down.
It's kind of funny when I get those requests. It's like, you got to think, Pappy Van Winkle, 23-year-old. How many bottles come out of that barrel? It's a pretty small amount than a 4-year-old, you know? And it's so hard to find the bottles, let alone let's try to find just a barrel.
Kentucky Bourbon Barrel gets most of its barrels directly from distilleries. When they first arrive, coopers inspect and repair them before they're sold for other uses. And while many of the thousands of barrels in this warehouse held bourbon or whiskey, brewers are also on the hunt for other vessels.
So it's interesting to see how it's continued to evolve, not just from bourbon, but into other barrels such as wine, rum, tequila, maple syrup, hot sauce. You know, there's so many different things out there that people like to use.
The cost of buying barrels can add up quickly, with some running well into the hundreds of dollars. Like with most businesses, it's cheaper to buy the barrels in bulk. But that's not possible for many smaller breweries, and it's created an opportunity for more regional and local partnerships between beverage makers.
We learned early on that one, we didn't have a very big marketing or advertising budget, and this was an easy way and an effective way to get our name out among folks that wouldn't necessarily have ever heard of us. And it's, I think, a very rising tide lifts all ships mentality.
Hotel Tango in Indianapolis makes several different spirits, including bourbon and whiskey. It recently started partnering with several local breweries.
We'll provide them with some of our bourbon barrels for use in aging things like porters or stouts or IPAs. And then on the back side, we will then get some of those new barrels back and age some of our bourbons. We'll finish them then in some of the porters or the stouts barrels that we would get from the breweries.
Hotel Tango is getting more requests from people wanting their used barrels. And while it's not something the company planned for when it started 5 years ago, its leaders are raising their glasses to the opportunity.
I think it's something that distilleries have to embrace. I mean, it is a little bit of additional work, but I think it benefits everyone who gets in that kind of a relationship or collaboration.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Barbara Brozier.
You know, it's becoming more common to see someone riding an electric scooter in some Indiana cities or find one in the middle of the sidewalk. As Tyler Lake reports, communities across the state are grappling with how to regulate the services.
Indiana was not prepared for the flurry of scooter rental services that rolled into some communities this year. Bloomington leaders had no idea Byrd was bringing scooters to the community until they showed up.
They tend to be disruptors, and they dropped the scooters without warning us.
Despite that, Bloomington leaders don't plan to pass any ordinances regulating the scooters. In fact, they're happy to have them here.
It's good to be a community where a company like this wants to come. They see you as a market of creative people who might use this kind of stuff, and that's good.
But officials at Indiana University don't think the new mode of transportation should go unchecked. The university is adding new rules to regulate scooters across all of its 9 campuses. They say the language addresses the problem of scooters being left in places that could block access.
The Byrd scooters should be parked somewhere either on or near a bike rack. So that's a new part of the policy. And that's, of course, to eliminate having the scooters just every place on campus.
IU officials also now require someone who collides with the pedestrian while on a scooter to exchange information with that person. And in the case of an injury resulting from a collision, the new rules require the rider to notify the IU Police Department. City officials in Indianapolis are taking a similar approach. When the scooters showed up earlier this summer, Indy put a moratorium on their use until they drafted rules to govern them. They're similar to policies that were already on the books in Bloomington, which prohibits people from riding scooters or bikes on sidewalks. Indianapolis is getting a little more aggressive with the enforcement of these scooters. You have to ride them out on the street, and it can be a $20 fine if you're caught riding them on sidewalks or city trails. And while the rules are relatively new, Indianapolis police say they've tried hard to get the word out about the new laws. And they're noticing a difference already.
Yeah, I think that we have seen a change of going more towards that proper riding, and again, that is due to the educational portion.
For Indiana Newsdesk, I'm Tyler Lake.
And harvest season is underway a bit earlier this year than usual. A lot of farmers are looking at record corn and soybean yields, but demand has fallen because of Chinese tariffs. Our chief videographer, Steve Burns, and reporter Brock Turner spent a day in the field with a farmer in Clay County to see how being put in the crosshairs of the trade war is affecting farmers.
The farm that we're currently on right now, I believe our family purchased it in the 1940s. We got some other ground that I own that I used to live at that is older than that. It went through the Depression, so you know, we're seeing stuff that's nearing or at 200 years in our family now, so something to be proud of. Harvest is always a fun time, one that's kind of the time we start to get our paycheck. We're able to start to pay some bills of the crop we just put out. I kind of like it probably a little bit more in a month from now whenever you're nearing the end of it, but you got a crisp morning to wake up to, and by the end of the day you're back down into a t-shirt and harvest and seeing the combine roll and the grain coming in. That's a very fun time of the year. But I feel sorry for some of the guys that maybe the yields aren't quite as strong as what we're seeing here, because without the strong yield plus the subsidy, we would be going in the hole big time. You know, each day for us is a new challenge, something different. You wake up one morning and think the day's going to go a certain way, and 99% of the time it doesn't go anything like you'd planned. So whether it's working on a piece of equipment, working on a truck to haul the grain to town, to something breaking on the combine. Each day is different, but that's also, again, what I love about my job, my career, is not having the same thing to do every day and new challenges each day. I love agriculture, I love the farm, I love the heritage, the fact that fourth generation or fifth generation in some situations on certain farms, you know, that kind of keeps me going. Hopefully I'm doing as good, or, you know, a goal of being better than what was handed to me.
That's the end of this program, but our work continues online as we cover the news throughout the week at WTIUnews.org. Have a great weekend.
Indiana Newsdesk is made possible in part by Smithville Fiber, the Gigacity Company, fiber internet, HD, and digital IPTV in Southern Indiana. More information at smithville.com. Maller Grodner Attorneys, providing legal services to clients and the community. Understanding, expertise, results. Bloomington and Indianapolis, lawmg.com. The IU School of Education, preparing teachers, scholars, and administrators to improve teaching in Indiana and around the world. education.indiana.edu. IU Alumni Association, connecting IU's network of alumni and sharing the Indiana spirit through scholarships, advocacy, and volunteerism. alumni.iu.edu. IU Center for Rural Engagement, extending IU Bloomington resources to improve Hoosier lives in partnership with communities and organizations. rural.indiana.edu. And by WTIU members. Thank you.